Good afternoon, and thank you for coming here to my office, 1017P headquarters here in Makati. Maraming salamat to all the bloggers and to all the press, and of course to all the netizens watching now live and all that. Hello, 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 1017P live, hello, and everybody. Excited to be here, excited to meet with you. It's a film that almost a year now in the making, so finally we're going to release it on October 17, which happens to also be my birthday. So a lot to look forward to, and I'm very excited. So yun.
Thank you, Director. Gusto ko na po magsimula. On a director's perspective, tungkol po saan itong pelikula ninyong First Love?
Wow, it's First Love is the title, and I really want to focus on how love is in the small things. It's in the quiet things. You know, it's in the small. It's when you least expect it. That's why that saying in the trailer, the moment you know it's your last, that's your first love. For me. And what is that first love? It's for Nick and Ali to show us on October 17. It's for us to watch the story of these two characters who live in Vancouver, and what's their first love? Why is it their first love? It's a great question also to ask also yourself. You know, what is your first love, and what is love in general? And for me personally, and I said it, it's in the quiet things. It's in the things that you do when it means the most. It doesn't necessarily have to be big, grand gestures. You know how they say it's always in the small things. So parang ganun ang journey ni Nick and Ali.
Ayan, dahil dyan, ang first set of questions ay magagaling kay Bernard na My Movie World.
Bernard, My Movie World, what's up?
Hi Direk, congrats in advance sa new trailer.
Salamat.
First question is, paano po nyo pinuo yung concept nito? Can you give us some background?
Oh, definitely. Ano to, medyo mahaba, but I'll explain to you best because it's actually the first time I'm really gonna explain to you how this concept came to life. Well, it all started with a dream to work with D. Agamula. I mean, he's an icon. You know, he's a legend. He's done so much for Philippine cinema, and I've always wanted to work with him. It was a dream of mine to work with Agamula. And of course, growing up, he was a family friend. I'm not sure if many of you know this, but my dad, Direk Paul, he did one movie in 1984 called Hot Shots, which starred Agamula. So it was the first Filipino film I ever saw, Hot Shots. I think I was probably about 5, 6, 7 years old when I finally got to watch. Of course, my dad showed it to me. You know, here's my son, here's my film Hot Shots, and you know that I became a fan of Filipino films as I started watching Hot Shots because I was born in Los Angeles. I was born in the States, so medyo delayed ng konti yung immersion ko with Philippine cinema. And then, of course, eventually, as I started directing, yun, Agamula was one of my dream actors to work with. And I remember my first film was A Journey Home, which I shot 2008, 2009. And then my next film was Thelma, mga 2011. No? And then 2010, I believe he decided to take like a break, no? From show business. Si Aga, I think almost until last year. Almost 7 years siya nag-rest. So I was like, oh man, in that break, you know, am I ever gonna get to work with him? No? So of course, him being friends with my dad, and of course my wife Tony being close to Charlene, no? From the Buzz, diba? Ilang years din sa the Buzz. Parang we've been always talking about the idea. No? And Aga was always like, oh, may concept ka, pitch ka lang, walang problema. You know? Ako naman, if I like the story, I'll do it. So I think around 2014, 2015, I pitched him a story. And he came here actually to my office. I have that photo. I'll share it with you guys. Usap lang tayo. And then parang sabi niya, you know what, Paul, yung concept, parang hindi ko pa feel. Pero if there's something, Paul, I want to work with you. Sabi niya sa akin. So of course, to hear that from Agamula, diba? You want to work with me? Wow. Pero yung concept pa daw, hindi pa plancha, hindi pa right. So of course, I went back to the drawing board. Then 2016 naman, I said, Aga, may concept ako for you. So yan, si Aga always makes time to listen to me. You know? So that was very nice. pumunta na ulit siya dito, no? Came here, we spent the whole afternoon talking. And then sabi niya, Paul, hindi ko pa-feel yung concept. Pero I want to work with you. Yun yung sabi niya sa akin. So in my head, I'm like, I appreciate his honesty, diba? At least he's not saying, I like your concept, let's do something. At least he's very honest to say na, I'm not too happy about your concept, but I want to work with you. So I took that to heart na that Aga really wanted to work with me. So 2017 comes, I had this concept, actually, long story short, I found myself in Los Angeles, I was in LA. It was around July last year. And sa Facebook, nakita ko na si Aga posted, I'm also in LA, parang I'm driving to Las Vegas, may ganun. So I said, Facebook message siya. I Facebook message him. I know he was on vacation, pero why not? I said, Aga, I'm in LA now, I have a concept. Aga was parang laughing, ano? Diba? Sige, I'm in Vegas actually. I said, sige, can I go there? Sabi niya, okay, in 2 days, come here. No? So from LA, I drove 4 hours. I said, hey, it's worth it. Agamulak to. I mean, if you want to work with an Agamulak, I believe you have to chase it. No? Parang for me, if I had this dream to work with Agamulak, and in order for that dream to happen, what do you have to do? You have to chase it. You have to make it happen. So I went 4 hours. I was with my my producing partner, Mark Victor, no? And we drove to Las Vegas. I went to his house. We talked about the concept. And I ended up staying in his house, I think, until 10, 12 midnight. We were just drinking, eating, having fun. And after that meeting, sabi niya, when I get back to Manila, let's talk. But Paul, I want to work with you. So, wala pang yung concept pa, hindi pa masyado, parang hindi pa rin eh. So, I fixed the concept, he gave me some inputs. And then around, I believe it was, I guess, August or September of last year. So, July yan, diba? August, we went. Dito naman sa bahay na sa Alabang. He goes, Paul, come naman to my house sa Alabang. So, I had the whole concept. I had the whole concept ready. Since I was going to go to his house, I did want to have a PowerPoint. So, printed out ko yung lahat ng PowerPoint. I printed out all the slides. And I got to his house. Of course, he came out. He was just bahay, relax. I said, no, sit down. And he goes, Paul, before you start, I just have one thing to say. I want to work with you, but I also want to work with Bea Alonso. So in my head, I was like, I was very surprised, but I was very happy because I said, Aga, no, dito bola. Look at my slides. I printed out the name of Bea Alonso in my presentation. Because she was the girl that I also wanted her to be a part of this concept. So he was, wow, parang this is meant to be. After how many years, finally we have a concept, finally we're seeing something to the point na, I'm sure Aga will tell you more about this, tinawag niya, he called Bea. And of course, I don't know what Bea's reaction is, you ask her. No? Pero parang very positive yung conversation. Pag binaba niya, Paul, game si Bea. Like, oh my God, really? Bea Alonso din yan. Diba? I mean, it's not like, you just get to work with a Bea Alonso. I mean, she was also a very terrific actress and one of the best of her generation. No? So parang, wow, like, it got really big. Aga, Bea, and then this concept of just, the project code was perfect match pa din at that time. So, yun, that's how it kind of started. No? I know it's a long story, but it's an exciting story. That's why I don't mind telling it. It's the first time I'm actually saying it. But that was just the start actually. So, Aga committed. Now I had to pitch to Bea. Of course, si Bea naman, sige, I think dream din niya to work with Aga. No? But Bea is also very thinking actress, smart din yan. Hindi lang basta anong concept. No? So, with the help of Tita Malu, she set up a pitch meeting. So yeah, I went to Star Cinema naman, pitched to Bea, and true enough, she loved the concept. And go signal na to write the film. So Ange Casoman, my writer from Siargao, I got her on board. She was one of the people I pitched the concept to. It was my story, it was my concept, and together we made a script. And of course, it went through many revisions. Aga, the challenge with Aga was, what hasn't he done? Diba? He's done parang ultimate leading man na siya, diba? 40 years in the industry. He's a history maker, he's an icon. I had to find something that he didn't do. So Aga was very vocal about the script. Yung first draft, Paul, ginawa ko na yan. Try namin to, very collaborative. So Bea also. Bea has done many films in her career, and we wanted to give you something fresh. Parang for me, it's my first time to work with Aga. It's my first time to work with Bea. And it's their first time to work together. We wanted to bring you a story that's a first. That's why I guess First Love talaga. Timing talaga yan ang title. So that's how it kind of got birthed. And then yeah, from August, we took about 6 to 8 months of revisions of the script. Of course, with Star Cinema's inputs, si Inam, si Tamalu, they were giving us their feedbacks from the actors. And then finally, around April, parang we had a script na game. So yun. Long story short, I went to Vancouver with my team. We fixed the ocular, and then June we shot. Almost a month, 5 weeks, we were in Vancouver shooting. So you know, that's kind of how it all started. I mean, it sounds maybe easy or exciting, but it was very, very challenging. I think for me personally, one of the biggest challenges I've had in my career is putting together the script for an Aga Mulak Bea Alonso film. It was very challenging in the script stage, very challenging in the pre-production. I guess even more challenging in production because we were shooting abroad. And now that the film is done, I can probably say this was the biggest challenge I've ever faced in my career in directing. Only because of just how big it is pala. I never realized just how big it is pala, and I'm only, I guess, feeling it now.
Pero like, ano po yung feeling nyo nung pinaportray na ni Bea and Aga yung roles nung characters nila?
I mean, we did, with Aga, we had a lot of meetings. I was in his house, talking about the character, and then si Bea naman, she came in, I think after she wrapped up, I think was it Iri or Kasal? Kasal, yeah, Kasal. She wrapped up Kasal. And then now she was free to meet. I didn't want to bother Bea when she was doing Kasal because she was doing another character. When she was done, we met, a workshop. We had a workshop. Inan was also there. And we created the characters together. And that's how I can appreciate why they're, you know, one of the best, or if not the best in their game, is because they're really thinking actors. And their inputs really helped me also create Nick for Aga and create Ali for Bea. But gosh, the first day we were in Vancouver, I remember I flew together with Aga. We went about 5 days before the shooting because we wanted to immerse. Si Aga really wanted to get to know Vancouver. Si Bea followed about 2 days later. And the good thing about it and the planning that I did was, since we were locked in, which is very rare, Aga and Bea were only doing this movie, this project. Walang segue, ganun ako din, diba? We were locked in Vancouver. I shot the film in sequence, meaning I started it from the getting to know, diba? The getting to know, to knowing each other, to falling in love, falling out in love, and to, of course, the end. So I could see the characters growing right in front of my eyes. So the first shooting day, parang we shot the first time they met. Diba? And it was actually even strategic from my point. For them to fly separately. I don't want them to get so comfortable yet. I don't want them to be parang buddy-buddy na, best na. I wanted them to get to know each other just the way Nick and Ali were getting to know each other. And sure enough, after the first week, parang they're comfortable na sila. And me also, I was very comfortable with them. And until the end of the shoot, to the point now nobody wanted to leave na Vancouver because I think Bea extended pa yata eh. So, yun, that kind of in a way from my directorial attack. I wanted to shoot the film and I wanted to treat the film parang yan, everything from getting to know to being in love, falling on in love, and all that drama and that conflict. And I think we were able to achieve it. And I mean, Aga and Bea, when they throw lines, I always say they show it to me, they don't read it to me. Ang galing nila. I mean, to be honest with you, after all the preparations, once we started rolling those cameras, it was Nick and Ali every time the cameras were rolling, and they were just the ultimate professionals from day one. We were a small crew of just 20. You could see Bea, Aga helping us carry stuff. Wala silang pakialam if Aga's gonna change in a public restroom. Si Bea will just run to the corner, may blanket to change. It was just a total team effort. And that's why there's just so much love in this film.
Yes, maraming salamat, Direk. Meron ka ba ba next question?
Kasi yung sa cinematography, parang ang ganda niya, napaka-fresh sa eyes. Paano na-achieve yun?
2 words, Shane Sarte. I mean, the one and only Shane Sarte. Yun, isa pang dream ko to work with, the Shane Sarte. You know, just such an ultimate professional. She's very humble, you know, very team player. I fought for her to be a part of the project because, you know, it's not easy. Of course, I mean, when you work in Vancouver or you work in Canada, you have to get working permits and get a lot of challenges. But I made sure that all my key staff, especially Shane, my cinematographer, I wanted to make sure that she was there, her team was there, and the equipment that she wanted, we, as much as possible, we were able to achieve that. But yeah, and you can ask Shane this also, but you know, Vancouver is just so beautiful also. So anywhere you put the camera down, ang ganda, very postcards, diba? Very cinematic. But of course, may skill pa yan, and you'll see that with Shane's cinematography, no doubt. Ang galing niya, and it was an honor to also work with someone like, you know, Shane Sartin, an Orion winner, you know, a sought-after cinematographer. So I'm very thankful for the collaboration also with Shane and her team, of course. But if I may also, I had a production design team of Benjamin Padero and Carlo, a power couple, you know, and they worked with me in Siargao, and they brought their design, their vision to First Love, and I call them Ben Carr, you know? Parang production design love team, you know? And they really complement each other so well. They were a team effort. Imagine the challenge of a production design from working in the Philippines with, let's say, a team of maybe 4 to 5 to a team lang of just themselves, or maybe one to assist them. But ginawa nila lahat, you know, it was just a lot of love, you know, from the production design team as well. And that also complemented the cinematography of Shane, you know. So yeah, and it was just a you know, all-around team effort, and I'm very happy with how the film has come out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dito naman tayo kay Chad Solis from the Manila Feed.
Good afternoon, Direk. What excites me dito sa poster is, since you're the one who created yung story, saan mo hinugot yung character ni Bea at ni Aga? Is it based on your personal experience?
Segue, yeah. You know, to be honest with you, the concept of this film came to me when I was watching movies. I was watching a lot of romantic dramas, because that was the concept that I wanted to pitch to Aga. And you know, some of my inspirations here could be, you know, the films like Notting Hill, Pretty Woman, the classic love stories. So actually, I was with my wife. I was with Tony when the light bulb moment hit. And usually, what I do is when I get a concept, I text it to myself, or write it down, or I put it in my notebook. And of course, it's more of just concept muna, no? And then of course, eventually I'll flesh it out, and then I work with a writer. No? But yeah, I was just challenged. I wanted to challenge myself to tell a love story, a classic love story. You know? Siargao was more of a coming of age, you know, a discovery film. I can't say Siargao was a love story per se, but I wanted to do a classic love story. And with Aga Mulak on your team being the ultimate, you know, leading man, you know, it was a challenge for me. And then you have, of course, Bea Alonzo, who's also just known for just classic love stories. I mean, if you look at the filmography of Aga and Bea, you know, you can easily say at least in the top 10 films in Philippine history, baka nandun yung isa, one of their films, diba? It's debatable, but you know, it's in the debate, diba? So yun, I said, an Aga and a Bea in a classic love story. So yeah, I immersed myself in a lot of you know, love stories. So from Notting Hill, medyo romantic comedy, to Pretty Woman, medyo konting drama, romantic drama, to Sleepless in Seattle. Actually, was also one of my picks. So yeah, I was just trying to, and of course, as a filmmaker, you want to find inspirations in the strangest places. So that's how the story came about.
Did you consult Tony dun sa character ni Bea?
See, Tony's usually the first person that hears all my ideas. And this is one of the ideas na naging active siya because medyo love story genre na yan. May mga serious concepts ko parang, pero with this one, when I pitched it to Tony, umiyak siya. She cried. No joke. And you can ask her. I don't know if it's because she's my wife, but going back again to my story about going to Aga's house in November, late August last year, when I pitched it to Aga, besides him getting emotional, he asked Charlene to come down from the room. So she came down and he goes, Paul, pitch it to her. And she also cried. So, and hindi ko na-expect yun. I guess it touched it. And in the same way na Tita Malu and Bea were emotional and felt the drama of this. So I knew I had something. I said, okay, there's something here. No? I'm able to bring together this, Aga, this Bea, Tita Malu, Inang. They were all believing in the concept. So may something. My wife. So it was worth the challenge. And we're excited to share it with you next month.
Since we're talking about first, Direk, what is first na ginawa mo on this movie?
There's a lot. There's a lot of firsts. Off the bat, it's my first time to work with Agamulak. It's my first time to work with Bea alone. So in anything. I never did commercials with them. I never worked with them on, let's say, short projects. I've known them, but we've never really professionally worked together. So finally, this is the first. Another first is to direct a film outside the Philippines, as in entirely shot in Vancouver. That was another challenge for me. Yes, I produced a film we shot in Israel. I didn't direct. I produced a film, Siargao, out of town, pero out of the country. It was the first time for me, so very, very challenging. I guess it's my first real romantic drama, love story, you can say. So that's also a first. It's gonna be my first film to open in cinemas nationwide on my birthday, October 17th, so that's very special to me. I mean, I'm sure you all know also, but trivia also is Bea Alonso's birthday is also October 17th. And another great filmmaker, Inang, is also October 17th. So we're hoping that we all align on October 17th. But yeah, there's a lot of firsts. I mean, but that's what excited me the most, because there was a lot of firsts and a lot of challenges, and I really believe collaboratively as a team we pulled it off. We have something special here.
How was it working with Aga and Bea?
Oh, it was unforgettable. It was unforgettable. It was challenging only because they're thinking actors. I think we were kind of establishing this. Si Bea overthinks and si Aga naman overfeels. Diba? So we were trying to find the balance there. So hopefully I was able to give that balance. Working with Aga was just, he was a teacher for me. He taught me so much about filmmaking. I believe I am a better filmmaker now, having worked with Aga Mula, because some of the things that he was just doing that maybe is natural, but I was just, wow, it's real. It's real. I mean, the way he analyzes character, the way he breaks down dialogue and scenes, iba eh. Parang traditional, good old filmmaking 101 from Aga Mula, because he was born from that kind of golden age of cinema. So, ganda, the rapport was good. I mean, si Aga is also very perfectionist in a way na parang if he's not comfortable, he will tell you. And he's very honest. He's very vulnerable at the same time. And at the end of the day, he treats you like a brother, like a best friend. Wala siyang, Aga Mula ako. I've been making films, hindi, but we're not born yet. Walang ganun. I mean, he was working with my team. We were all young, and he was very, parang one of the boys lang siya. Okay lang siya. Let's go out. After the movie was done, Paul, what are you doing? You wanna grab a drink lang? Let's talk. Very friendly, to the point na parang I just wanna work with him all the time. And with Bea naman, for me, I felt a special connection to her. And I don't know if it's because we're the same birthday. Parang we're very alike. Parang if there's a female me, parang Bea. Kasi perfectionist, she's very prepared, planned. Parang we are like, parang we're thinking the same things. Parang even before we're about to take, parang we just look at each other. She knows na. May ganun feel. No? So I felt that we were able to really connect that way. She knew exactly what I was thinking about, and sometimes she even would make it better. She had this parang female perspective of my male perspective. Parang may ganun the things in Bea. And professional to work with. I mean, both. I never really saw them look at a script during the shoot. I guess because I always told them I want you to come prepared. So I would just ask them, "You guys good? You good? We're good."
Director also working with one of our hottest star today, Edward Barber. So how was it working with him?
Edward Barber, this kid is definitely going to be the next best something. You know, now he takes his craft very seriously. He's got all the makings to become a best actor. He was very attentive. What I like about him is when I would talk, he was listening, but at the same time, he was also collaborating. He was also giving me his thoughts. And for a young actor, that's quite brave. Because usually, mga young actors today, they just listen and they just listen. And with Edward, hindi ganun eh. Parang collaborative. And I think challenged din siya kasi he has scenes with Agamula. Actually, he has a lot of scenes with Agamula. And you could see also that, he was nervous, but he was using that as motivation to, also parang, okay, wait, I know you're Agamula, pero when the camera is rolling, I'm Simon, you're Nick. Walang ganun, and galing ng timpla niya. He did really well. Actually, the biggest revelation for me was him, Edward Barber, because to be honest with you, I just saw, and he hasn't done much. I think he did a film, and then some of the TV work, of course. So my expectations for him were not, okay, I'm gonna help him, but wala eh. Parang okay na siya, galing. He was able to pull it off, and to be able to match an Agamula, to be able to carry a scene with Agamula and Bea Alonso. Parang he's been doing it for many years, so the kid's got a great future, and hopefully I get to work with him, in a bigger role. I mean, he does play a support here, but it's a very, very significant supporting role. It's not to be missed. And yeah, he's one of those young actors definitely you must watch out for. And in this film, he definitely shines at playing Simon.
Thank you, Direk.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Naman tayo next kay Kate Adahar from Random Republica.
Hi, Direk. You mentioned earlier that when you shared this story,